So diving into today's topic, Anvi, can you give us a look into your world in content analytics and tell us what you've been working on? I know you have some interesting findings to share.
Sure. So, what exactly is content analytics? In a world of growing social media and internet presence, a lot of companies are producing content for awareness across, many different platforms. Specifically at Workato, we're publishing tens of videos on YouTube each week. We're writing blog posts on our product hub. We're hosting webinars like Unexpected Automations, and making connections on LinkedIn. But really, this is only half the battle. The other half is what you call content analytics, which is using the data that we have from all of these different platforms to drive decisions about our content strategy. And this is where I come in. So what exactly does this content analytics process look like? So before looking at any data, I had to figure out which metrics serve as our key performance indicators. Like what numbers are going to tell us what we need to know about how our content is doing. Platforms like YouTube and Google Analytics, they have a lot of different metrics from demographics to bounce rate. And all of these metrics are important, but keeping track of every single one of them is impractical. So choosing these metrics largely depends on your goals. At Workato, our goals were to increase engagement, discoverability, and the sheer amount of content we have available. So for us, it was important to look at the big numbers for the platforms. Things like video views, webinar registrations, LinkedIn impressions, things like that. And once you have these key performance indicators decided, it's a matter of gathering the data, drawing insights from this data, and sharing findings with the team. However, this part of the process comes with quite a few challenges. So at least once a month, I would spend hours and hours on end gathering data. Each platform has its own native analytics page, and a lot of the times the metrics you want live on completely separate pages. So there's multiple reports to be looked at. It's a lot of clicks just to download the data itself. And once you're done gathering the data, querying and sanitizing takes time as well. Doing all of this along with creating visuals so that it's ready to present can take the better part of the day. Time adds up and this process can be tedious and error prone, which isn't really what you want. It shouldn't be such a pain point to have fresh and up-to-date data. It's 2020 and there's definitely better ways to do this. So what if we automate? Our solution was to completely automate the data collection and reporting process. We built pipelines to gather the data from all of the platforms, generate real-time reports with Google Slides, and added a Slack front-end layer to make it user-friendly. So overall, this is kind of what the general process looks like. We have data coming from multiple places like YouTube, Google Analytics, LinkedIn, WordPress, etc. And on the other side, all of this data is being loaded into Snowflake. And on the other side, we have multiple access points where you can get a snapshot of all the data in one place, whether you like using Google Sheets or having it in a document. But because we love to use Slack at Workato and it's our go-to tool for many different things, we created a bot as an access point as well. So putting all of this together, we created Infinity Bot. So if you can't already tell, I'm a bit of a Marvel fan and I couldn't help myself. This Slack bot allows users to get a quick snapshot of different platforms so that we can spend less time gathering data and more time improving our content. So Rena, can you show us what this process would look like in Slack?
Yeah, you got it. So I will switch over to Slack here so I can navigate over to InfinityBot. And on the app homepage, I can read a little bit more about what InfinityBot does and what type of data it can consolidate for us to use. So this is pulling from the channels that we use most frequently, like YouTube, GoToWebinar for Product Hour and Unexpected Automations webinars, Product Hub from WordPress. And so for us to generate this monthly snapshot of all of our data, I can just click into the Generate Slides dropdown and click on Snapshot. So over in Messages, I'll receive a confirmation that InfinityBot is working to get our snapshot slides together, and here's what that might look like. So if I click into this link file, this is what that would look like. So it'll share a Google Slides deck with separate slide for a summary for each channel, YouTube, GoToWebinar, WordPress. So now that this information is kind of right at our fingertips, we can start to experiment with our strategy and see what works, what doesn't, and we can follow up with the findings rather than spending time, like Anvi was mentioning, manually and painstakingly gathering this data, which won't necessarily give us real-time findings.